Sometimes things happen in life that seem like coincidence. But are they really? Alla, while still a law student living in Ukraine, researched the history of witch trials. And that's when she came across Słupsk, the witch's tower, one of the few places that still remind us of those times. No one, including her, could have imagined that a few years later this city would become her refuge. When the war broke out in Ukraine, Alla was sure that she was only coming here for a short time, that it was a transitional stage. But time passes, life goes on, and the question, where is my home, becomes a challenge with no easy answer. And perhaps it is no coincidence that we recorded this conversation on Polish Independence Day. It became an important symbolic accent for us. We talk about the experience of escape, uncertainty, and building resilience when the world is changing day by day. This is Olga Blumczyńska. Today I invite you to listen to the story of Alla, one of many women on the move. Let's start from this moment when war broke out. How did you feel at that time? How did you understand it at that time?
At that moment, it was in February. I started I told that sometime before or after COVID. I started self-development, and I was learning coaching also at that moment. And we had sessions on Saturday. We had groups from Russians and from Ukrainians, by the way, and from different parts. And we had sessions on Saturdays. And I remember that there was information that the war in media, that the war might start. Some friends, the embassies started to close. Some friends from abroad told, joking, are you going to fight or something, that you should escape or something. But I was, and everybody was thinking, no, it cannot happen. This is simply manipulation, or it shouldn't happen. And actually, I also asked everybody whom I could ask, people who kind of feel something or made some installations about the war or different practices, and everybody told no, it shouldn't start, maybe it will be later, but not now, everything should be good. But we had the sessions on Saturday, and I remember that when you work, everything is going in your rhythm, but on some Fridays I felt some anxiety, especially I listened to some Russian oppositioners who told that the operation is prepared. There are some shamanic ceremonies are done to kind of approve it or something. It was a little bit crazy, but I remember that I couldn't sleep even. We had this session on Saturday, and before Friday, Saturday, I couldn't sleep for 2 weeks, I think. I felt anxiety. But anyway, it was kind of anxiety, but we didn't believe that it will will happen. And all the information. However, I've gathered information about the how to prepare the bag. Also, that you don't need to be in military form outside. And also there were courses to give medical aid. Even with my neighbor, we wanted to visit them, but we finally couldn't find it. I don't know if they happen to know. So it was idea to get prepared, but we never believed it will happen.
Okay.
And I remember that morning, at night, I lived alone. And my family lived, my father and mother, they lived 10 minutes away, and sister. And at 4 o'clock or at 5 in the morning, my father called me. And I was, oh my god, like I'm sleeping, who the hell is calling me? And when I said that my father, that he never calls in inconvenient time or something, and he was in his like ironical manner, as always, he told, it started. And I simply looked outside the window and I heard the sounds. I have like the view long to the center somehow, like the lake, to some regions, districts of Kiev, and it was night, but I felt some sounds far away and the lights, so I understood that the war has started, so invasion has started, and it was quite. From that moment, I think the mass happened in the head, because I was trying to do to understand all the things at the same time, but you couldn't concentrate for more than like 1 minute. From one hand, I tried to find my passport. From another hand, I tried, should I prepare food? Should I go to the shop? So it's kind of mixing of reality, because actually the information also was mixed. We didn't understand what exactly we're going, where exactly is something happening. And you were kind of in emergency mode, yeah. And I remember that I prepared my backpack to have everything in one place. I went to the shop also to get some products, and I saw that some people were leaving, were going with trying to escape or something, and I was thinking, but like where to escape? Like it's your home, like where to escape or what to do, because we also understood that there are a lot of people on the stations, and some people who had cars, they tried to take cars. Yeah, I live in Kiev, so I didn't mention it. So I simply, what I can do to take products, to go home, to speak with family, but we didn't have any plan what to do. We hoped that it will end. So because it was something very strange, and we were like believing that it cannot last for long, that it should end. So we should be calm. And finally it continued. I remember that we got salary before. I donated like a lot of money to the army. Everybody donated because we thought that this is something like we need to do now. Actually, a lot of people are self-organized, and that was really supportive when people supported each other. So that is how it started. And then the war continued, but it was kind of, I remember on 24th of February, but on 8th of March we have this holiday, a women's holiday, and I remember how I went out. There were not a lot of people already. Like you were out, you met people, but you understand that a lot of people have left. Yeah. And I remember that I made like I'm always optimistic. I made like a video how I'm in the center. Like luckily Kiev was not invaded. But we didn't understand that at that same moment, only like 10 kilometers away, it was Bucha, or 5 kilometers even, and there were really bad things were happening exactly at that moment. But we tried to believe in good, and we we're not aware of what is going on truly. And how we get to Poland. It was, I already moved to my parents. We were all together, and from one colleague, a friend by work, she told that her mother can accommodate or help with accommodation in Poland, and we were thinking, okay, but it will end tomorrow. Like we were waiting for some decisions, for some international involvement. I'm a lawyer, and I by the way, I took the book from international law. I started to read. I remember all these rules about international law, about the principles of international law, the sovereignty of territory, and this was something. Yeah, I understood already that it doesn't work, but it was so a lot of international organizations like United Nations, etc. I was thinking that Russia should be excluded from United Nations, because this is the main organization which is responsible for peace, and some real steps should be done. But actually, yeah, it didn't change. So I think for some 5 days we were thinking whether to go or whether not. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And in the evening we were. We were thinking we need to go because at night there were attacks, and we were like spending time in the bathroom. We were like singing mantras or like reading this Bible. Don't remember this psalm, which numbers to protect. But in the morning, like it became more calm. It was like closes of spring. You hear the birds, the sun. You go out. Everything looked so optimistic that like, oh no, like why should we go? It will end tomorrow, and it was for a week, something like that. And it was curious that actually when I was first nights, I had we didn't sleep for long because I was always anxious, but I had dreams that I'm very positive dreams that I'm laying on the beach somewhere like in the sea, that I'm relaxing, and but how like I can have these dreams, but I understand that my psychics defend it in such a way. And one night, finally, there was one building was air attacked, and it was only 1 kilometer from our building. And we understood that it becomes more dangerous, and we decided, and we understood also that this proposal to move won't be forever. So we agreed, and we decided to go. And that moment I had a dream that I remember that the fighting is close, that I'm looking from the window, and I have music, and like there's a fight, and I need to make music less louder because it's loud and they will pay attention, and I cannot make it. So it was like it became more real, and that's why we decided to move. And it was also curious because we set up the date when we go, when we take the train. And at that date, like we were quarreling, everybody, as all like because it was a lot of resistance inside. Somebody didn't, like father didn't want to go, but we understood we need to go all together. And we didn't know what we expect in the road because the train usually were full, people were staying, and I also was worried about my parents. And the day when we had to go out, it was announced that that night and the next till like 24 hours or even 36 hours, it will be the blocked hour, like care for, or the time when you cannot go out.
Okay.
And actually this was successful way what they did to manage the situation, because they had these blocked days, and they were managed to find the people who were prepared to make some diverse some bad things. Okay. Like But the issue that we understood that we go to the station, if we don't take the train, we won't be able to come back to home because we won't be able to go out. It was prohibited. So we will need to spend in the station like 2 days or something. So it was quite kind of stressful, but later everything went good. Like we took the taxi. And it was interesting to go through the city on the taxi because we finally saw how people organized. They made a lot of barricades on the roads, near the roads, so to be prepared in case of invasion, so to fight. And it was so proud to see how people did it like by themselves, self-organizing, and also the people stopped. There was like self-defense. They were staying on the road. They stopped the cars. They checked the documents. But you felt this kind of trust and unity because you understand this is simple people who try to help, and you felt very safe. And it was nice that we came to the station, and we planned to take one train, but it was announced that another train comes. It came with delay, and we took that train, and that's why we were lucky because the people who were aiming to that train, they took the previous one. And this was with delay, and we could even sit inside, and even I could lay like in the upper level to sleep, because it was like luxury. It was luxury. People were usually staying in the corridors, even so. We were lucky that we took the train, and we came to the Lviv at night, and there we needed to wait for the train to Przemysl. And unfortunately at that moment there was not so good because we were staying in big line at night, and there were different people you meet. Some people, for instance, I met a woman who was from Kharkiv. She told that she previously was from Donetsk region, that she needed to escape because of the war in 2014. She left her apartment. She started life from the beginning in Kharkiv, and the bomb attacked like their building, not her section, but another section. And she was, and when she started to speak about it, she started to cry. Because she said, "Okay, this is the only bag I took. This is everything I have." She even couldn't understand what she was searching for any job. So to be able, she didn't know what to do. So the road to Przemysl was not so easy because the train was late. There were a lot of people, and unfortunately there was some situation on the border, and we needed to stop for 3 or 4 hours. Like the travel had to take like 2 hours or something, or 3 hours, but finally we were staying, I think, for 5 hours on the border. We were very exhausted, but that was like the most maybe appreciated moment, that after we crossed the border and we came to Przemysl, I remember how like totally contrast. There were so many people trying to help on each step. When you go from the train, a lot of volunteers. They said you can take tea, you can go there, you can have. And there were toys for the children. There were a lot of hot soups, food, and the train was waiting also to Krakow. It was like modern. There were a lot of space. And everybody was so friendly, and the Ukrainian flags everywhere. So it was such a contrast that we were, oh my God, like we were really excited how Poland met us and met people. And actually this support was very important at that moment. And that is how we came to Krakow. We were not aware where the Słupsk is. We didn't search for any city. Like we were thinking of temporarily. We were sure that it will be temporarily. we were not thinking like what would be the best place to everybody. At least I was not thinking, and that was a proposal, and we simply wanted to be in the safe place. That was the idea.
When we are talking about the breakout of war and your reaction, also in Poland there was kind of reaction among people, and at that time I thought, oh my god, war is so close. And I organized our documents to have them in one place, because normally I have them one here and one there. And at that time, me, and not only me, but also people I know, we were really talking about that we are afraid that it is also not only about Ukraine, but also about Poland. And we felt like, for sure, in other way than about different wars that are going on in world. And my first thought was we should escape, because for sure it's serious, this invasion in such a scale that we didn't expect to.
What I appreciated in Poland, that I felt that they took it, they understood the reality about Russia, and that the danger is close, and that helping to Ukraine, they kind of they do for themselves also. And because in other countries, when I went to after I came to Słupsk, I went to France and in different, and when I was speaking with people, I understood that they have this block inside, that they feel, no, it's not about us, it's like I mean, they have sympathy. Even some people from USA, like I met a lot of people, and they had sympathy, but I felt that they do not understand. I mean, it is not close to them, and they do not feel like the same. So I felt that in Poland, like, people were knowing.
So maybe this Polish reaction was also about this feeling. It's about us also somehow,
yes,
not only about you.
Yeah, and maybe because it was like the Second World War, this situation, and really knowing like Russia, etc. So it was, and actually, yeah, I felt that it could. Even people thought that for this period, like Poland and Ukraine will be like the same territory. It won't be like a lot of borders, because it will be in the interest of both countries to unite, and there will be a lot of issues to be settled together. So, and I think this is something I see a lot of similarities, like in our mentality, and yeah, this is something we need to understand to be united in such cases. And I will remember all the time, like how we were treated.
Have you returned to Kyiv from that time?
Yeah, I returned several times, and like I in our house, in my building, like we have good self-organization, and I have my neighbor with whom we spent time the first nights in the basement. We were like, she is living up and me down, and we simply, I called her after my father called me. I called her, and she also remembered that, okay, this first night I was also thinking, why you're calling me at night? Like, I was angry that why I'm calling at night. So she like there was time that she had to take care of her family and to leave, and I took care about her plans. I left, she had my keys, so she took care about my apartment. So in that case, we kind of were in touch what is going on, and I'm still having job in Ukraine, and and I returned several times. And it's was also complicated because each time when you return, you kind of connect to reality, because now it's like period where you don't understand, like it was the period before the war. There is some life, like the life kind of split, because now you have another direction maybe, and there are some life that was before. And when I returned, I connected like pieces by pieces to reality, because I remembered the first time when I returned and I was cleaning in my apartment, I remembered from one hand all positive episodes which were before the war there, and also remembered that like days I spent there, when we went to the underground, when we were thinking that the tanks were nearby, where I was meditating at the apartment, trying to kind of calm down and maybe to stop it somehow, and all these emotions come together, and like each time when you return, you connect to these happy moments when you felt at home. At the same time, at the moment I don't understand, there I feel home, but I don't like this is kind of life without this life, and here is a kind of life without that life, so you feel kind of broken into two parts, where you don't understand exactly like where are you. And sometimes I return to Słupsk and I feel that what for I return, or and you kind of do not understand where is actually your home. And because I think that whenever we are now, of course people maybe who started new job, etc., but we all have this connection and subconsciously wait for the war to finish, thinking that then you finally can leave. But in reality, like maybe nothing will change because life already goes on, but you kind of stop it for some reason, and it's this is, I think, that a lot of people feel at the moment.
How can we call it, like sense of temporariness?
Yeah.
And you don't know where is your home, where you should create your life.
Yeah.
I've never felt like you. I only migrated in Poland, but also when we came to Słupsk a few years ago, it was like I wasn't sure if it's a good idea, and I even felt quite angry and sad with my own decision that I will live now here. And I remember the feeling, what am I doing here? This was the first feeling. And the second feeling, should I just stay here and wait and raise children meanwhile? Or should I do something with my life? Can I create something for me? So, and this only small migration in country.
Yeah.
So, I was thinking that it might be really challenging for you to make decision inside where you live and what you do, and how to take care of your life, which is still going on in spite of the situation that you are somewhere between.
Yeah, that is actually the challenge I think I have, and also connected that from one hand I had a dream before the war. I was I work with international contracts, with international relations, and I had a dream to maybe find a job somewhere abroad, where to be connected to some transnational like issues. And I had a plan like to pass IELTS, to enter MBA, and it was a crazy plan because MBA was very expensive. But finally I did it. Like, yeah, this is good achievement, and this was a kind of one step, kind of success goal I had. And I finally accomplished it. I won a scholarship. I was able to finish in one of the best business schools in the world. And I was moving into that success way of I was thinking. But finally the war, it changed, and this situation of being between, it created the changes of values when you think, okay, but what for? What for? You need this success or this external success, or also maybe this collective tiredness, that because from another, the value of life, the value of something maybe more not material, it became more valuable. And so it becomes a very complicated mixture of different internal conflicts, I would say, because it's also some at one hand there is some fears you have when you step in another challenge or another level of your life, even you need to go wider, where something unknown will wait for you, maybe something not comfortable, and you need resource to do it, and you have this tiredness of everything. You just want to feel safe, not to basically, yeah. And from another hand, also this reality that we, I remember when I was studying in MBA, and about different soft skills, and that resilience is considered one of the important soft skills which will be needed in our current life, and we also see it with artificial intelligence, with the losing of jobs, etc. And I understand, okay, but on the worldwide dimension, this feeling of safety, which we get used to, certainty, we know what will be tomorrow for sure. The world goes in different direction, and we understand that this skill of being resilient, not being tied to expectations, to be flexible, to be adaptable, this is more important. I'm asking myself, okay, but I'm here already 3 years, and I have a job in Ukraine, the job I had before the war. I wanted to change something, but I don't know what for or what exactly. And from one hand, I got this education which pushes you to realize it, because if you don't realize knowledge, they kind of it become to auto-aggression or something. You need to put this energy in something. But from another hand, I also ask him what this period is for, and I think that sometimes it's also about not moving, not demanding anything from yourself, and to go inside, maybe, because even COVID times and pandemic, it also was kind of period which pushed people to meet with themselves and to consider where their life was connected to external pillars, and where it was not authentic, because when you are connected to external things, okay, I'm going to party, I'm eating good food, I'm traveling, that's nice, that's emotions, or yeah, I have big salary, etc. But where is you here? What is your true? Where is your authenticity? And I also understand that sometimes like I'm expecting from myself some moving, and I'm kind of person, I like to move, I like to be in different like different mixture of people, of energies, etc. But I understand that this is also the time maybe to connect to myself and to find internal pillars, because external pillars looks like to change in many ways. So we need these periods to connect to yourself.
That's very interesting. And I think that sometimes with my partner we are talking about this, that everything changes so much and it's unpredictable, so it's really hard to expect anything from your life, because what you can do, where you have your impact, is people that you have relationships with, is your inner world, your inner pillars, as you said,
and yourself actually.
Yeah.
I mean, are you trying to make changes outside? Like, it's nice to make impact, but sometimes maybe there is time to become like that person that you want to be, or to work on something you need, to be in resource, to give time to yourself, not to demand from yourself some achievements outside.
Yeah.
Because yes, this is really impact we can do.
Yeah, because it would be so cruel if you would expect from yourself that there is war going on, and you expect from yourself that you are fighting with everything. You have to do this and that and be this and that, because you didn't want to be here. As far as I understand, it wasn't your plan. Maybe what you can do for yourself are those things that you mentioned.
Yeah, this is from one hand, like it's nice that people like fighting, organizing, helping, but it's also exhausting, because that was a problem like Ukrainians faced, because a lot of people started to donate and a lot of people continue to donate, and I think this is very interesting success story for everybody, because Ukrainians continue to donate even not having good salaries and inflation, etc., but finally you are burnt out. Finally you don't have resources for yourself. So this fighting, it's important, and sometimes it even helps you, because when you defend your values, you defend something like integral things, identification, right? Because we are defending about today's the Independence Day of Poland, right? So I understand that for Poland it's also a very sensitive issue to feel this, like we are a nation, we are independent, and it was also a challenging moment in the history where they needed to prove that we are independent. And for Ukrainians now, we are fighting for this feeling like our identification and being like free. This is the basic thing, right? To exist, to prove your right to exist as a person, as a nation, as an identity. But finally fighting exhausts. Sometimes we fight with ourselves and it exhausts. And that is quite challenging issue.
Well, to be honest, I didn't even think about the fact that we are meeting today on Independence Day of Poland.
Yeah.
And now when you talked about this, I thought, whoa, it's so meaningful.
Yeah.
It's so meaningful, because if you have this independence, you just sometimes don't see that you have all those treasures.
Yeah. I think this is this is really great to appreciate and to appropriate, right? Like you say, to put psychological language, to appropriate that you already have it, that you don't need to fight, that you already have it, you don't need to prove. And Poland, what I see that I remember from childhood when we had some Polish TV channels, there were like always Polish music, Polish, are like a lot of protection to national culture, national art, national films. Now I'm working on television in Ukraine, and I understand that how Poland like invests in own production, in own things, and this is very it's great, like to support your own. And when I came to Poland, I felt that we have very similar things, because the Soviet past and mentality, you feel the same. When you speak with people even not knowing language, you feel that you are from the same, you understand feelings, not explaining.
Yeah.
And I felt that okay, but I wanted to dream. I liked to dream that like Ukraine maybe will have similar level of life and a feeling of safety. I like to see people like elderly people with good clothes, relaxed, feeling like secure. Of course, there are some problems, but I feel that it becomes much more better than it was like 10 years or 15 years ago. And and sometimes when I speak about European Union with people, I see that people see a lot of like maybe disadvantages, but I also feel that there are some advantages that you don't see. I mean that when the war started, I was thinking, okay, like in Ukraine also fighted for having this better level of life, level of values. For example, these trains where it is comfortable, there is a place for everyone, the tickets, everything is affordable. Of course, there's always positive, negative things, but we were fighting against that negative impacts of Soviet times, when personality is not appreciated, when you don't have this basic feeling of safety, comparing with each other, even like some local trains. When I went outside of Kiev, sometimes there were not enough trains. Sometimes you catch the last train and people are staying in the toilet because and you say, or for example, you stay, the wagon is full and there nobody, like you cannot open the window, you don't have air to breathe, but you cannot open the window because for somebody it's hot, for somebody it's cold, and people like so feel like unsafe because there are a lot of people, they need to care about their bag, they need to care about like not to get ill, and everybody is like a stone inside. And I understand this stone, this is your internal feeling of insecurity which Ukraine had for centuries, commencing from this hunger times, which on mentality it get very big impact, because it's basic thing to have food, and when you are deprived from food for a year, it's like we remember it on our genetic codes. And so I see how much like Poland achieved in this feeling of security, like a feeling of even people feel that they can influence on different social life, on demand from government, etc. Of course there are always problems, but be assertive. I like when people, I see how people are more assertive, they know their rights, they can express, especially women, I appreciate why they can express like in this direct way, like respectful, direct way, but if they are not happy with something or some service, they express it. And that is, I think, also very important of this feeling of dignity, feeling of self-appreciation, and this force you have. So I think that Poland achieved a lot, and also appropriates this feeling of internal dignity and independence. So that's great.
Yeah, that's true. I remember Poland from my childhood, and it was really another world. So yeah, I appreciate this. But yeah, I agree that somehow we are similar. I don't know many Ukrainians, to be honest. But I can feel that there are many similarities, and perhaps this tension that people feel in a train, in a different, social situations. I can also feel this among Polish people, that we are just tensed, fighting for something, or we are always like, it's so funny for me always that there are rules, but there are some ways to go another path and not, maybe these rules are not so important. Like in Polish society, every rule can be broken, to be honest.
I think in Ukrainian we have the same.
Yeah, and it's tricky because on the one hand you want to follow the rules, but on the other hand you have some tricky small creature in you that is looking if maybe I will do it in my way.
Yeah, and this creature has a lot of energy, I would say.
Yeah, and I think this is our memory of Soviet times, where there were rules that we didn't want to respect. They were just offensive. So
yeah, we also maybe consider it like a freedom when you're, because maybe we have the similar, like having this pressure from Russia, from rules outside, and not appreciation of your way, so that makes you think differently and find the way to do it differently, right? Or find the way of how you express freedom in such a way, because you cannot maybe influence directly on things, so you can express freedom by not obeying the rules or by creating your own rules. And we have this similar way, and I think there are a lot of resources even in world dimension, because, for example, in Europe it is very sometimes strict to only one way. And I think that maybe they also, like, interacting with Ukrainians, they sometimes like in business, I don't know, or in some things it's not easy. But it opens some also way for out of the box thinking, and that is interesting, really way to combine, maybe, because from one hand, we also need to learn how to obey the rules, and to understand that if we created these rules, like not we created it, like or directly or through electing people who wrote or voting to, because we have actually what is interesting that Ukraine, I think, establishes these basic values of democracy by making revolutions. And I was present in revolution in 2004 and 2014, and I remember it's like from inside, and this feeling of absolute freedom when you have, you see this election, for example, in 2004, I was a student, and it was an election where we understood that the results are not clear. There were a lot of violence on the elective commissions while calculating the results. So we understood that it's not fair. We were fighting for the fair elections. And finally, I remember that the next day after we get the result, we simply went out to the streets. And it was on the first day, it was the day of lessons. I didn't go to the university. And everybody who went out to the street, we felt like very vulnerable, because we understood, we don't know what will happen. Like, people can use police. like we were, but you meet people and you understand that you feel each other, because we felt this feeling of injustice, and you feel that you cannot simply sit at home. You need to express that you do not agree, that you want to your vote to be appreciated. And we had this first revolution when I remember that this first day I called to my friends that come, like, here is very good atmosphere, like we need to support, we need to influence, and they like, are we crazy? Like, are we crazy to go to the street? Like, it will be dangerous, like, what for? And only for 1 week, it changed totally. First days I remember that even we were students, and some people like came to us, oh, you are staying here, I cannot, but let me buy food for you. Or people took food from home, took it outside, took people, for example, it was impossible to come to Kiev by car or by buses because they were stopped by police, and people went out by cars. They took people inside from the buses. So people were in Kiev, everybody, like millions of people outside, but everybody helped each other. You felt very safe, like unreal. Solidarity. It was feeling, and it was interesting that it was like this central square of Maidan Niezależności. And it's Independence Square, and I remember that there were some concerts, but they were feeling that like the sky is looking at you, that you are so connected to this basic absolute feeling of freedom, which every human feels, and it was really exciting, but it was like the first revolution, and the second it was more complicated, and but finally what we achieved, comparing to Russia, we achieved that, okay, if we do not agree, we can go out to the street. And I remember that I was, as a lawyer, I was exploring USA Independence Act, or their constitution, and this basic rights, right to life, right to property, and the third, it was the right to protest. And I remember that I was reading about this Jefferson, and how this explained that as the people, they elect government, and the right to protest is something also very natural. This is something integrative, to the people. And I understand that was like the basic of democracy. How USA built this democracy in creating their first constitution in 18th century. And I understand why this right to protest was one of the three most important, because in Ukraine we now, by this revolution, by making this right, we achieved this internal dignity and freedom. And that's why for us, when the war started, it was very crazy. Why? For us it's so natural. We don't agree, we go outside, we are unite, we say that we do not agree. And Russia, it turned out that, okay, they're different. There are some people, they wanted to go out, but they some people went, but finally they were not able to express it, because I don't know, maybe this authoritarian things inside, they have much more. Ukrainians, we have a lot of this feeling of freedom, and Russia, it's more authoritarian and totalitarian inside, and maybe even connection to religion, to something. And in that case, I think we have similar things with Poland. We had historically, when there was Cossack times, and I feel that we have this. Some people feel the same, this feeling of independence inside.
Let's come back to the moment that you came to Słupsk. What was the story with Słupsk, and how did you feel after coming here?
Actually, the only thing I thought in Słupsk was when I read and I heard about this Basztą Czarownic, because when I was studying in university, as a lawyer, and we needed to make a project work on English, and I didn't want to do something like everybody did, and I chose the topic of witchcraft as a crime. So I remember, like, it was something that you didn't have a lot of information, and I found some books, and I remember that I was reading about that women who were accused in witchcraft throughout Europe, and that usually there were some, like, basic instincts people had which were transformed in this movement of accusing, like, women. And for jealousy, for because she was too beautiful, or she had like a lot of she had property, and for example in Germany the property was confiscated to the municipality, so it was very profitable to accuse beautiful and rich women in witchcraft. And for me, like, about Słupsk, I remember that the only thing I read, there is this place like a Tower of Witches. Interesting, like I have never heard that such place was preserved in any city in Europe. And that is the only thing I remember. And when we came, it was also interesting because we were moving all night in the train, we were tired. But like the people who met us, like, who accommodated, they made such a great job. We came to the apartment, and they brought a lot of like small things there, like some candles, some food, some, like, it was like the feeling that everybody was collecting something from their home, like what they could give to help to live here, to support, like at home. And that was like a really precious feeling of support. So that's how we came to Słupsk.
What were your beginnings here, and how did you try to communicate with people? Because Słupsk is quite small city, so there is also, I think, language barrier sometimes.
That was true. That Ukrainian for me is similar than Polish, but there still was a barrier, and to be honest, it was also some, I would say, psychological barrier, because we were frightened. After the war, I had a lot of fear inside, and even by taking the train, I didn't know how to express like what I need, or how to buy ticket, or I was even like afraid to get stuck in the toilet, like to close and not to open or something. I think it was kind of post-trauma after the war, so it took some time to feel safe. And actually, that was what I think was the most precious thing, that I felt like here's a lot of nature and very calm. And I felt how it's kind of sanatorium. Like you feel like you get sanatorium after being ill. So I felt that this nature, this river, forest, everything is so healing around for living after war, to learn to trust, to learn to relax. So I felt really good here. Also, I liked that it is historical place, and there are a lot of historical buildings at the center, and you feel this vibes of that there was something was going on here. And I like medieval times, and the architecture resembled medieval period. It was not easy from the beginning. I knew several people here, but we didn't speak much. I think that actually getting new friends at the beginning can be a little bit complicated. So I even like appreciate it for being alone for some time. And I didn't search for new people, and especially when I was studying, I had like a lot of meetings, so I felt that I have a lot of activities. so I didn't feel that I need some companies or some people. But step by step, starting from there was Ukrainians who organized the knitting the nets for the army. We were making nets from tissues. And that was like my first contact with people here, and they were meeting in the church, making these nets. And also there are some migrants activities, and I like to speak different languages. Yeah, by the way, you told about language barrier. I speak English, I learned Italian, I learned French, but in Słupsk I didn't have like the chance to use it because actually not a lot of people speak English. And I also, I was not sure that like I need, and it was hard to learn Polish because, I don't know, it's very similar to Ukrainian. I thought that I will mix languages. And I was thinking that it is temporarily. So finally, I learned some words like you needed for basic communication, but I had this barrier, and so I usually simply smiled and maybe use these basic words. But it was complicated when some more important things you needed, for example, to go to hospital. I think we all came with a state of insecurity, and when you have this state, you kind of, it's hard to be tactful, because to be tactful you need to feel calm, and when you have this anxiety inside, it's very easy to be not on time, not not to be treated respectful, or that you are like bothering somebody. So that was kind of a challenge.
Yeah. And you told me lately that you started here, or you returned to painting.
Yeah.
That's in this sanatorium. There were also some possibilities to connect with your talents.
yeah, that is actually what I also appreciate here, because I didn't learn to paint. After the quite before the COVID times, I started in Kiev to visit master classes, and it was very for me it was like a therapy, because in Kiev, when I started paint, I had to fight with my assumptions that I cannot, because I didn't learn, I don't know how to do it. There are some rules, there are some professionals, like how can I do it, and it's not perfect. But when finally you, with the support, you get to some result, and you, like, for example, you're stuck in some point for an hour, you don't know how to progress, like while painting, have to paint this, whether you're right, what is the right dimension, etc. But finally you relax, you kind of and you create a new neuron links in your mind that you cannot you can do it in your way, and it will be okay. You will get to a result in your way. And here in Słupsk, sometimes on Sundays I started to paint, and I enjoyed this process because it's like very creative, and it helps to get distracted from work, from like serious things. And finally I met some Ukrainian girls. She connected me to another Ukrainian painter who was here, and she got acquainted me with like this Słupskie Ośrodek Kultury, and I found out that they have like organization uniting amateur painters, amateur artists. And I was accepted there, and I was invited to the planner, and it was also a nice experience to paint in a community. And actually here in Słupsk, I would say that it gave me more possibility to paint because I have nature around, and I had the support of local organization, and also I like at work we have like not so active periods. So here, and the most important that I was participating in exhibitions. I was able to present my works on exhibitions and exhibit like to people, and it was also very exciting because being adult, starting late, you have a lot of like imposter syndromes. And when people simply but you can exhibit, people can see it, you can hear something about your works, it makes you it empowers you to continue to develop. So I finally presented like even my works in 2 contests in Słupsk, and there were some works I felt some connection, put some senses, and even metaphysical senses, so to say it. And the last was with Kasi contest this year, and I really felt very happy that I was able to deliver my thoughts in painting and to be exhibited here.